made the experience of the prophet so that we can learn from it. Imagine if the prophet's marriage, all his marriages, imagine if they were perfect. No single problem, no single issues arose whatsoever between him and his wives. What would be our example today when we have issues with our wives? How are we going to what are we going to look at as a yardstick to start resolving that issue? There will be nothing for us to look at. But it is a mercy of Allah that some of the happenings in the homes of the Prophet ﷺ, Allah made it evident so that we Muslims can take examples therefrom. One of the popular incidents was the incident that happened between our mother Aisha and the Prophet ﷺ when she was accused of an indecent act. And how did the Prophet react to that? How was the issue resolved? In this, there are a lot of lessons for husbands. Now, Aisha was accused. The Prophet ﷺ did not receive any revelation concerning that for quite some time, and he was not able to establish the truth of the matter. But what did he do? Did he start hitting his wife? Did he start beating her? Did he start cursing her? No. In fact, Aisha said in one of the hadiths that till the Prophet died, till he died, he never said a single word of rebuke to his wives. He never. In fact, what we can see is whenever the Prophet was angry, which happened a few times, the Prophet used to stay away from them without malice. Like after the Battle of Khaybar, when the Prophet and his companions got a lot of booty, and as is human nature, there was some bit of greed among the wives. They wanted more share, right? And the Prophet later abstained from them for some period of time to show his displeasure over what they did. And there was a verse of the Quran regarding that action where Allah was telling the wives of the Prophet that whoever amongst you wants this world should take it, and whoever amongst you wants the Prophet of Allah, and Allah should stay with him. So Hafsa and Aisha they decided to stick with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this Quran 4 verse 34 states that women are expected to be obedient and submissive to their husbands. Now, the question always is, why must we be submissive? Why? In the first place, women and men are different. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. We may have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, mouths, whatever. However, we are not the same in our mental capacities, in our emotional states, in our physical capabilities. We are not the same. Now, for men, a man's greatest need is respect and honor. Now, well, this is my opinion. I don't know, maybe some men, they just want food and that's all. Yeah, it's possible. While for women, from what I know, a woman needs to feel protected and cared for. That is why, if you look at the last sermon of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet says, "Wattaqullaha fi nisaikum." Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Fear Allah in relation to your women." Why? As a man, Allah has already placed you above the woman. Let everything be equal now. Both of you have the same amount of money in your bank accounts. Both of you are of the same age. You are of the same standing in the society. One thing is always evident. You as a man is physically stronger than the woman. So if both of you are placed in the same room to live as husband and wife, and you are shielded from the outside world. It is only the fear of Allah that will make you as a man not to mistreat your woman. It is this fear of Allah, because love is never enough. No matter how much you love your partner, there will be times where you feel like maybe just slightly their truth because they'll piss you off. But it is the fear of Allah that restricts you from doing that. So the Prophet of Allah says we should fear Allah in relation to our women. So even though women are implored to be obedient and submissive to their husbands, at the same time, a man should not take undue advantage of that. Now, another right a woman has, another responsibility a woman has to her husband is that a woman should not admit anyone whom the husband dislikes into his house. Like I said earlier in the hadith, that we are all shepherds, and every one of us will be questioned about what we were shepherds over. Now, a woman is a shepherd over her husband's home and properties. Now, it is one of the husband's rights that the woman should not bring people into the husband's home, people he does not approve of. This is very important. This way should not seem like that. This right extends to our relationship with the neighbors and outsiders. Not giving out your husband's properties. Maybe you want to somebody needs something from you, and of course we have 10 bags of rice at home, and what's there in giving out just 1 liter of rice? But as a woman, you are not allowed to without the express approval of your husband. This is one of the rights of the husband over his wife. At the same time, a woman is not expected to leave her home without the permission of her husband. Without the permission of her husband. A woman should not just say, oh, I have a party somewhere, and of course, I'm attending to it, like, for example, my friends will be there. So, nobody can even think I should not go. Like I said earlier, responsibilities of the husband to protect his family. And there is a corresponding right. One of those corresponding rights is what we see here. Because if anything happens to the wife, the husband will be called to account. Where did your wife go? Maybe her mother needs to speak with her and they start dialing her number. They can't reach her. They will call the husband next. I think we are well out alone. We call global. It will be unheard of for the husband to say, sorry, we must see how we work. It doesn't make any sense. How can you know where your wife is? So, there is a responsibility as well as the corresponding right. The responsibility of the husband to protect his wife, and the corresponding right of the wife to obey the husband in that regards. Now, we move to the rights of the husband. The responsibility of the husband and the rights of the wife. This, I reserved it for the last part of this discussion because it is the most important part. I'm not saying what I've said earlier is not important, but the greater responsibility of maintaining a functional home is on the man. This means that apart from those rights he enjoys from his wife, he also has greater responsibility to make the home intact. Now, if we look at Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وآتوا النساء بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وآتوا النساء صدقاتهن نحلة فإن طبن لكم عن شيء منه نفسا فكلوه هنيئا مريئا. One of the foremost rights of a wife, she is entitled to the sadaq from her husband. It is inalienable under no circumstances. However, Allah states in that same verse that if the woman chooses to remit any of the salah to her husband, then he is allowed to enjoy it. If she remits a part of it or all of it, let's say she has asked for a Benz before, and after the nikah she says, this Benz that I requested as my man, please take it. I don't want it again. The husband is allowed to take it. But